So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about choosing a niche. And before you know how to choose a niche, you should know what a niche is. Most of us in our community of today, some of us go into a business which we do not know the niche which it belongs, and we do not know if it is the right business to do at that point, and the right audience to pass the business ideas to, and what we are doing, if it's right for our business, and if it's what our audience want to know. Now, what is a niche? Is a question that you'll be asking yourself at this point when you've gone to know that in choosing a business, you need to consider the niche of your business first, and the audience you are trying to pass this message to. So a niche is a segment of the broader market, of the wider market, which have its own unique characteristics, such as needs and preferences and identities, which set them apart from the broader market. So a niche has its own unique characteristics, and it's definitely set them apart from the broader market because a niche is being narrowed down to the last consumer. So in this video, I'll walk you through the different types of niche, how to select a niche, and the things you need to consider before selecting a niche, right? So I encourage you to watch this video to the end, because the last one is going to be a very mind-blowing one, and believe me, you want to hear and listen to that one. Whatever you are doing, whatever business you are into, and especially for the content creators out there, or those who are trying to become a content creator like I am, then I encourage you to watch this video to the very ending, and you'll find out the right niche to belong to as a content. You know what a niche is, and it is something I want to tell you is, before selecting a niche, before selecting anything, choosing a career or whatever it is you want to do in life, there are some certain questions that you will ask yourself. Now, these questions applies to anything you want to do. In economics, you've been taught that in production, before producing, you ask yourself some certain questions as well, such as what to produce, to whom to produce, how to produce, and where to produce. The same thing applies in creating a content or choosing a business. So the first thing you ask yourself is, what you try to evaluate yourself. Put yourself, who are the first person that you are evaluating before you evaluate your audiences. So you ask yourself, what am I good at? You try to figure out if there is something you are good at. Then if you have a passion, for that, because you don't want to go into a topic, or you don't want to choose a niche where it's going to be boring for you, and you create a first content, second content, third content, and at the end of the day you end up stuck. You end up stuck because you don't know what to say, you don't know what to write, you don't know how to, you're out of ideas, and that is not ideal for you. So choosing a niche, you need to be sure and certain that this niche you are choosing is the best one for you. And if this niche is the best one for you, what makes it the best for you? The topic is interesting and it's passionate for you, right? The topic has to be passionate for you because you find joy in doing what you are passionate about. And I think the topic, you have experiences in them. You have experience in this topic because you want to talk to people about something that you've experienced, right? So if you are talking to somebody, it has to be something that you already know and you know what it is. So while talking to anyone on it, it will be easier for you. And while writing your blog post or while creating your content, it will be easier for you because you are saying this based on your own experiences. Then the next thing you need to evaluate yourself on is, am I ready to work on this? Because definitely when you start creating your content, you're going to have a lot of work to do. You're going to develop a lot of work ethics. You're going to develop a lot of energy. It's time consuming, it's energy consuming. And at the end of the day, if you fail in any of these, it will go a long way to affect your creation, your content. So in evaluating yourself, you will also try to find out what your favorite hobby is. For instance, some people have their hobby to be swimming, some people have their hobby to be writing, some people have their hobby to do whatever it is. But let's take that you have an hobby of fashion. Let's use fashion. Let's say you have an hobby as to be a fashionist, then you should be more interested in having your niche directed towards fashion. This way, when your niche is being directed towards fashion, it's already something that is being developed in you. It's something that you are used to. It's not something. This is gonna go a long way because it's your niche. It's like a gift for you. It's a calling. So you're not gonna find it difficult, and it will be easier for you to work with people, with fashion designers and stylists. You can become a modeling. So you can narrow down your niche to the highest and the least segment of it, because it is your calling, it's your passion, it's your hobby. So when choosing a niche, the first thing you need to put into consideration is evaluating yourself. If there is something you have an hobby for, if you are good at it, if you have a special skill for something, then put this thing into consideration before choosing a particular niche that you want to go into. Now the next one, which is number 2, is you find a different potential niches. Now once you have evaluated yourself and you've seen your skills and your hobbies and what you are good at, the next thing you do is you find the potential niches under this phase. So in this one, you're going to have a very big list of different niches under this phase. That way you'll be able to narrow down your niches later in future. But in this niche that you are entering, the question you ask yourself is, now in this niche, what are other niches under this one? Now if I'm a fashion designer, or if I'm a fashionist, I'm a model, what are other niches under modeling? You need to know that there are so many other niches that you can as well involve yourself under modeling. Yeah, there are several things you need to put into consideration. You need to put into the demand of the public into consideration while choosing your niche. And you put demographic and the rest of them. There are a lot of things you need to put into consideration. Now talking about niches is going to take a very long while, so I'm going to cut this video into 2. So this will be the first part, and there will be a second part where I will discuss more about the niches and other parts. So I've discussed two things here, 2 features, which is number 1 is evaluating yourself. Having known what niche is, you need to evaluate yourself to know if you are capable of anything at all. Then you need to create the work ethics in you. Then ask yourself the question, what are you willing to do? If you are ready to work, then number 3 is you find different potential niches under the niche that you've selected. So number 3, like I said, is see if there is a market for the niche that you've selected. Number 1, you need to evaluate yourself. Number 2 is after evaluating yourself and you've seen there is something that you can do and you have a hobby and there is something you are good at and you have a calling, then number 2, you look for a different potential niches under the niches that you have, right? Under the niche that you've selected. Then number 3 is something you want to do. You need to look for you need to be sure and certain if there is a big enough market for the niche that you've selected. Yeah, you need to, because whatever you are creating for a certain group of people, for an audience, but you need to be sure if the market that requires your content or your business is big enough. Because I think there in the internet is a very nice way to start, because all content and all niches have a very large audience now, because you have various internet platforms and where you can actually display your content or display your businesses for people to see. But you need to be certain of this. If the niche that you've selected has a very nice market demand, because it's of no use for you to go into a niche that you need to sell to a very small amount of people. So when choosing a niche, you need to be sure of the market demand. You need to be sure if the people you want to sell to are willing to buy, the people you want to talk to are willing to listen. If they I think most in our days now, most people want to watch and they don't want to read. Most people want to laugh, because the rate at which there are things happening in the world today, that there are disasters, and if you go to the news today, it's full of sad news, bad news, earthquakes, flood, fire, wildfires all over, mass shooting, bombing, wars. So many people want something to cheer them up. They want to laugh, they want to smile, they want something to put a smile on their face. So most people want, that's why most people, I think if you go to the internet, if you go to the platform, you see that most people want to do comedy, because they know that comedy has a wide market, a wide market demand for it. A lot of people want to smile, a lot of people want to laugh, but be very careful while choosing your niche. Make sure that you have a wide and a large market demand for it. Thank you so much if you've watched the video to this part. Now at this junction, I want to tell you that I'll be coming back with a part 2 of this video, because selecting a niche is something that you need to be careful at, and it's not something that we can wrap into a video. We need to, expatiate it, explain these things very well for you people to get to understand. So before setting up a business, you need to, listen to videos like this. I believe there are a lot of videos like this on the internet, but after listening to this one, probably you're not going to listen to another one because it's good enough for you. Then if you find this video to be supportive and interesting, please click the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Then if you want to follow me on Facebook, then you can search for Life with Truth. Then kindly follow me on Facebook. If you want to follow me on TikTok, you also search for life_with_truth. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you. For those of you who have subscribed to my channel, God bless you. Do have a lovely day, and watch out for the second phase of this video. Thank you.